Hi, it's T.A. Megan. I'm in my office / library. This is some books that I have and an old picture of me and my sister when we were teenagers. Anyway, I'm going to read you a book, and it's called Once Upon a Time. Froggy Love in Monet's Garden. Now, you might recognize that name, Monet. He was a famous painter. This book was written by Joan Sweeney, and all the pictures are by Kathleen Fain. All right, so I'm going to read the words, and then I'm going to show you the book so you can see the pictures, and I want you to listen to the words. Here we go. Try to sign book, because I'm going to be reading. All right, here we go. Once upon a lily pad, Froggy Love in Monet's Garden. On the day Hector and Henriette were married, the water garden never looked lovelier. All the water lilies were in bloom. The groom was a handsome tenor whose splendid voice filled the air with song. His bride was the most sought-after beauty in all of France. Everyone came to the wedding, from the tiniest tadpoles to the biggest bullfrogs, and they gathered beneath the Japanese bridge and heard the sacred words, "I now pronounce you frog and wife." They were all having such a marvelous time, they scarcely noticed two uninvited guests. One was an old painter in a battered straw hat. The other was Monsieur Crow, keeping a sharp eye on the festivities from his perch high above. Do you see the crow? Right there. Do you see the painter? There's Monet. The newlyweds took up their residence in the most fashionable corner of the pond. There they lazed away the hours floating about and dining on dragonflies. So it was some while before they finally noticed the old painter. He arrived every morning and quickly went to his work. Soon Hector and Henriette were convinced he was painting their portraits. After all, weren't they the most celebrated frogs in all of France? And so they graciously posed. You see Monet there? The frogs, Hector and Henriette, think that he wants to paint them. Let's continue reading. Hector and Henriette posed for the painter at sunrise. When the early morning mist veiled the pond, they posed in the brilliant light of noon, and they posed in the violet shadows of the evening. The old man never seemed to be tired of doing his work, but before long, Hector and Henriette began to tire of theirs. "All this posing is a bore," Henriette complained. "It's not easy being famous," Hector agreed. High above, Monsieur Crow was listening. "Oh, the old man is not painting you," cawed. "He's painting me." Hector and Henriette could not believe it. Who would want a portrait of a crow? Here they are having their conversation. Fortunately, they soon had more important things to think about. They became the proud parents of tadpoles. The old man was enchanted. Not a day went by that he didn't paint the whole family frolicking amongst the lily pads. So there, Monsieur Crow, laughed Hector and Henriette. But Monsieur Crow had other ideas. One day he swooped down and began snapping up the tadpoles in his sharp-pointed beak. "Stop!" cried Hector and Henriette. "Stop this minute, you nasty old crow!" All at once the old painter sent a stone flying across the pond. It struck Monsieur Crow in his wing. Monsieur Crow was insulted. He flew off in a snit, and he never came back to the pond. So you see all their tadpoles? Well, look what happened to Monsieur Crow. He got mad, didn't he? That's what insulted means, that he was very upset, and snit means that he just was like, oh, and huffed away, because he wasn't going to even try to resolve why he was mad. All right, let us continue. But the old painter came back day after day, and from then on, Hector and Henriette always posed happily. The tadpoles, they grew into frogs, and soon the chill air turned the leaves gold. Is that what's happening outside here in Minnesota? Yeah, it gets cold at night and it makes the leaves turn gold and red and brown. Hector and Henriette struggled up in a comfortable cranny. They hoped that the old man would find a cozy place too. Next spring, they were pleased to find him back at his easel, and before long, another family of tadpoles arrived, and so it went, year after year. So, there they are being painted, and then remember they crawled into their cozy hibernating den, and they hoped that he found a cozy place too. And then spring came back, and so it began again. Then one spring, the old painter did not appear. Hector and Henriette sat on their lily pad, watching for his familiar straw hat. And when summer arrived and he had not returned, they knew that he would never be back. That was long ago, very long ago. And in the years to follow, Hector and Henriette told their children and their children's children how once upon a lily pad, the most famous frogs in all of France posed for an old painter in a battered straw hat. It is said he was painting the water lilies, which is one of his famous paintings, during those years at the pond. But if you look very closely down amongst the lily pads, it's possible that you will find Hector and Henriette. One thing is certain, you will never find Monsieur Crow. But this is how the artist signed his name. So there's the last picture there, and that is Claude Monet's signature. And this is a copy of the painting. It's very big. I'm going to bring it in so you can look closely. See if you could see any frogs. Sorry, there's kind of a reflection from the window, isn't there? And then there's this little piece I want to read you here about who Claude Monet is. He was a man born in Paris, France in 1840. That was a long time ago. And even as a young man, he loved to paint and make art. He became the leader of a group of artists called the Impressionists. Using bright splashes of paint, he captured the effects of light on his subjects. Everything from sunrise to cathedrals. Often, he would create a series of paintings that showed how light affected the same subject at different hours and also in different seasons. At his beautiful country home in Giverny, 52 miles from Paris, Monet designed an enchanting water garden. A fairyland of lily pads floating on shimmering ponds. They served as the subject of his most famous series of paintings, the Nymphaeas, or water lilies. And one of the most magical of these paintings is shown that I just showed you. It was painted in 1922 and hangs in the Carnegie Museum of Art in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Well, I hope you enjoyed our story time. I'm going to be reading a book to you every Monday. And maybe I should put a little clip and have you guys choose which book you want to listen to next week. All right, I'm going to do that. I'm going to find 2 books and then let you guys make a vote. All right, bye-bye. Okay, these are the 2 books that you can choose from. We have Lucky Bamboo, and it looks like it's about a little bear with maybe their mommy or daddy. The other book you can choose is The Big Honey Hunt, which looks like it's a Berenstain Bears book. I'll take a picture of this, and then you can choose which book I'll read next Monday. Bye.